Welcome to Wolf Bride. A mystical connection. I like the way it says to a man and a woman, so you're like, gay shit. I mean, if you don't want to see that, get out of here, move. We leaving. She's looking cute. I mean, never mind that she's a copy of Bloodbound. She's named after a really cool courtesan in ancient Greece, if you want to check her out. The courtesan in question rose to be the most powerful woman in classical Athens, so she's pretty badass. The breeze is cool as you run through the woods. Your muscles bunch and surge powerfully as you run sure-footed on the forest trails. Can't get away. Gradually, you become aware of the soft pad of feet behind you, avid yellow eyes, a dark whisper of fur between the trees. Wolf. The wolf is behind you now, fangs flashing white in the moonlight. You turn, but he follows effortlessly. His movements match perfectly to yours. Oh, Malaka. You run faster, heart pounding in your chest. But are you afraid, or is it only the thrill of the chase? Her. Your pulse leaps as you feel the wolf's hot breath on your neck. Shivers race through your body, and you know you feel what the wolf is feeling. His triumph, his excitement. You stumble as you reach the base of a waterfall. Its cool spray doing nothing to control the heat inside you. The wolf rises to his hind legs and bears you down into the pool as you turn to face him. Took you long enough. And suddenly, the wolf is gone, body lengthening and fur melting under your hands until you are skin to skin with a man, eyes the same golden amber as the wolf's. No. Okay, so the other two are just a no-go. His eyes glow as yellow as the wolf's, and you feel his hunger. But no, it isn't food he lusts for. Whoops, I'm a whore. At last, you're mine. The churning waters lap at your thighs, and a wave of desire rushes over you, along with a fleeting thought. This is hot, terrifying, bizarre. Who even is this guy? You shudder. Is it a man or a wolf you hold in your arms? His mouth moves towards yours, golden eyes glowing with anticipation. I should get away, give in to my desires. You rise to meet his kiss with equal ardour, not wanting a scrap of fabric or breath of air between you. His hips grind against you as your tongues duel. Strong hands run down your sides, claiming your breasts, your hips as effortlessly as your mouth. Now that I have you, I'll never let you go. You squirm in his grip, distantly aware that you should want to get away, but only succeed in pressing closer to him. You can feel the length of him hard and hot against you and feel an answering surge of heat between your legs. Did you think you would escape me? Your body knows we were made to be together. Yes. The waterfall pounds behind you, the sound filling your head, the coolness of the water the only thing stopping you from lighting the entire forest on fire. His mouth descends to yours again as he spreads your legs, driving home in a single stroke as you cry out your pleasure. Yes. Oh shit. Chapter 1, Hunt's Peak. When you suddenly jerk awake with this jolt and a sound of shattering glass. You struggle to move. Acrid smoke fills your nose and something is holding you down, pressing on your chest. You fight against it. No, get off me. Why can't I move? You've had an accident. The voice is deep, warm like the hand that comes through the window, calm and steadying you. Your vision clears, recognizing slowly. You're in a car, crashed somewhere at the side of a wooded road. A man is opening the door to rescue you. The same man you just saw. Just hold still. I'll get you out. His muscles strain as he yanks open the jammed door and takes your arm to help you out of the damaged car. You look at him. His eyes are brown, not golden. Normal eyes. Human eyes. But your reaction when he touches you is anything but normal. His touch feels at once electric and completely familiar, a jolt of sensation that heats your blood and sends your heart racing. Slowly, the night's events come back to you. You were driving all night, coming to West Virginia to visit your mother's family and the hometown she had always forbidden you to even ask about. Was I dreaming? But how were you... His voice is calm, but evasive as she shuts the car door. You must have fallen asleep at the wheel. But why do I know you? How can you look exactly like someone from my dream? He doesn't answer, carefully walking around the car with you to take stock of the damage. You should be more careful. You could have been killed. I was driving all night. I must have been more tired than I realized. The car looks mostly intact. It seems like you veered to the side and straight into a tree. Your windshield is cracked, the driver's side door warped, but not much other visible damage. Thank you for your help. I'm Aspasia. Sure, that works. Bastien. You saved me. Look so familiar. Are gorgeous. And you are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. Cringy, but appreciated. He dips his chin slightly, almost a bow, and you feel a rush of blood leave your head. The man is hot, but there's more to it. The very air between you hums with tension. Are you hurt? You blink in confusion until he looks at the still smoking car, and then you shake your head. How could you forget? You stretch and twist, testing your limbs, but other than some shakiness, you seem to be okay. I think I'm all right. Thank you. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't been there. You look at the mist-shrouded forest and deserted road. What are you doing out here? And where is here? You should be terrified, alone in the woods with your wrecked car and a strange man whose intense gaze never leaves your own. But instead, the unexpected connection from your dream still lingers, something deeper and stranger than mere attraction. You're nearly to Hunt's Peak. Oh, good. That's where I was going. I'm visiting my uncle. My mom left Hunt's Peak when she was a teenager, so I've never even met any of my family here. Which always seems so strange to me, so I figured I'd come and see. You realize you're babbling, and it's hard to tell if it's because Bastien makes you nervous, or feels so familiar that you expect him to already know everything about you. You manage to stop yourself before you say anything about the recurrent dreams you've had about the forests of Hunt's Peak. Forests you'd never seen before right now. Or the strange feeling that he was in more than one of those dreams. It's a pleasure to meet you at last, Aspasia. At last? You know who I am? This is a little creepy. Of course. We've waited a long time for you. Your mother leaving was a great disappointment. A shiver runs through you at his words. He knows your mother? How? Wow, what, small towns, huh? Everyone knows everyone? Something like that. You had always suspected there was more to your mom's story than just bored teenager leave small town. That's why you went behind her back to come all the way down here, to find out what really ties you to Hunt's Peak. But whatever you were expecting, it definitely wasn't this. So, what do you know about my uncle, my mother, me? I was very young when she left. I never met her. She doesn't know I'm here. She never wanted me to come to Hunt's Peak. Many people were hurt when she chose to leave. They won't easily forgive her. Still, that was my entire life ago. Memories here are long. You turn back, your nose wrinkling at the smell of the smoke from the engine, sour against the rich soil of the forest. I should call someone about my car. You take out your phone to call 911, but you have no bars, and when you try to dial, you only hear a strange static. Damn it, no signal. I guess I can try to drive. You look dubiously at the car. It seems drivable. Mostly? Suddenly, you hear the sound of another car on the deserted road. It slows as it approaches you, and you become aware of a strange pulling sensation, as if something in that car, someone in that car, is calling to you. Did you? You glance at Bastien, wondering if he feels it, but his eyes show nothing but suspicion as the car slows to a stop and a woman gets out. I never thought I'd say this, but for once the male models were hot and wow, that's... But at least she's cute. Is this your car, miss? You need a hand? To your surprise, you feel the same spark as when you met Bastien, a lightning bolt of connection that leaps from you to her, despite the dark glasses that shield her eyes. Who are you? Well, hello there, stranger. I didn't hear you coming. Not much foot traffic around here. Figured I should make sure everything's okay. Morgan, I work for the forestry department. Aspasia. Bastien takes a deliberate step forward, blocking the space between you and Morgan. His shoulders are stiff and his eyes unblinking. Go away, Morgan. You have no authority here. The stranger stiffens, jaw tightening, her head turned slightly away from Bastien. It's my job to keep these woods safe. You work for Sayer and Energy and Power. Your job is to destroy these woods. I'm a researcher for SEP and a part-time ranger. Was this guy hassling you, miss? Her voice softens noticeably when talking to you instead of Bastien, and again you feel an unexpected frisson of pleasure at the sound. No. You'd be surprised how many vicious creatures live in these woods. You shouldn't come out here alone. I was just fine with Bastien protecting me. Can take care of myself. Wouldn't mind your protection. You take a step closer to Morgan, and she places herself subtly between you and Bastien. Good choice. Lots of things around here are more dangerous than they look. Things everywhere are more dangerous than they look. You can practically see the hackles rise on both their necks as they face each other. Just a word of advice from someone who's lived here her whole life. Don't trust Bastien. He's a known troublemaker. If your idea of trouble is inconveniencing Sayer Energy. Bastien's hands are balled into fists at his sides. As he tenses, looking like he wants to throw a punch, the car door opens behind Morgan and 2 men get out. "Step back. We'd better not catch you making threats against an officer of the Forest Service." Both men watch Bastien like he's a grenade that's about to explode. "It's all right, Sergei, Hugo. He was just leaving." She turns to you with a smile. "We can give you a ride to town and call a mechanic for your car." Bastien hovers close, not quite concealing the urgency in his voice. "The road goes around the mountain. It's much quicker to cut through the forest. Besides, you came here to learn about your people. This forest is your heritage. Let me show it to you while we walk." His voice drops low, like a caress, too soft for Morgan to overhear. "There is a waterfall not far from here, a jewel of the forest, hidden from all human eyes." "A waterfall?" For a moment, an image from your dream flashes before you. The hidden spray of the waterfall, the wolf's body bearing you down into the water. Bastien smiles, and you suddenly know incontrovertibly that he knows exactly what you're thinking. Blood rises in your cheeks as he leans closer. "Wouldn't you like to see it for real?" How can he know what happened in your dream? Is this why your mother clammed up every time you asked about Hunt's Peak? Is there something supernatural about this place? No. Maybe another time. As kind as you've been, we did just meet. Maybe I shouldn't go anywhere with you just yet. "You have nothing to fear from me, Aspasia." His deep voice and formal way of speaking seem equal parts enticing and menacing. You laugh to break the tension. "Just don't want to forget the lessons of Red Riding Hood, you know? And my uncle is waiting for me in town." Bastien takes your hand in something closer to an obeisance than a handshake, then fixes Morgan with a threatening stare. "Take care of her. I will see you again, Aspasia." Bastien melts into the trees, almost instantly blending into near invisibility. Morgan climbs into the back seat of the car and one of the men take the wheel. She holds out a hand to help you into the seat beside her. But the moment your fingers touch, the contact burns through you like electricity. She drops your hand immediately, obviously as startled as you by the fire. You... Morgan pulls away, not meeting your eyes as you buckle yourself in. Slowly, the driver starts to accelerate down the wooded road. "You all right, Aspasia? He didn't hurt you." "Bastien saved me. Was a perfect gentleman. Seemed really strange. I crashed my car and he was the only one around. He could have done anything, but he chose to help me." Morgan's lips twitch into a frown or a skeptical grimace. He certainly likes to play the hero. Well, doing heroic things isn't exactly playing. Whatever he did, believe me, it doesn't make him a hero. You really think he'd hurt me? I know he will. Why? I mean, obviously there's some history there, so what's the deal with you two? Morgan looks away. Bastien doesn't care who he hurts as long as he gets what he thinks is his right. None of them do. None of who? As the first buildings of town draw into sight, she forces a smile. You said you're meeting your uncle? Did he say where? Can I help you find your way? That's, broke downtown. Morgan sees you safely to town, lingering outside the car as you text your uncle to let him know you're here. Well, I'd better, Yeah, tell your uncle that the car is being towed to Bernie's shop. He'll know where that is. She hesitates as if reluctant to leave. Thanks for the ride. You reach out awkwardly to shake her hand, almost convincing yourself it's just polite and not an excuse to touch her again. Anytime you need it. As she gets back into the car and pulls away, you recognize your uncle hurrying towards you. Aspasia, is that you? Oh, he seems nice. Uncle Zen, I'm happy to finally meet you. You look just like I imagined. I can't believe you're really here. You can't know how long I've waited for this. He folds you in an awkward hug. I would know you anywhere. Spitting image of your father, aren't you? But what happened to you? You look like you've been chewed up and spit out and left for the dogs. You suddenly realise your clothes look exactly like you drove for 18 hours, then survived a car crash. Which is what she did do. Crap. I just realised I left my bags with the car. Oh yeah, I got a call from the mechanic. Said you'd had a little fender bender? You try to brush the creases out of your clothes as you bring Zane up to speed on the past few hours. Well, there's one part of that I can put right at least. Miss Sherry's is right over there if you want to pick up something new to wear. I wouldn't want you to tell your mom that Hunt's Peak didn't treat you right. Yeah, well, I didn't exactly tell her where I was going. Ah, that makes sense. I was wondering what changed her mind. Why? Why does she hate this place so much? Zane doesn't answer the question, picking up his pace as you follow him. Here, let's see what Miss Sherry's got in stock. Sounds a bit like Sherry. Moments later, you've put together a chic but practical outfit at the encouragement of Zane and the saleswoman. No, usually it's 12 gems for each first outfit. Sneaky, no. I don't know. I'm probably fine in what I'm wearing. I should save my money for the car repairs. If you say so, we can pick up your bags a little later. I took the rest of the day off so we can spend some time together. What do you want to do first? You glance around at the unpromising street, which looks like it should be something paired with an article on America's dying heartland. Before we do anything else, we should probably figure out what's happening with my car. By the time you sort things out with the mechanic, it's almost dinner time, and Zane takes you back to his house on the outskirts of town. Hello, it lives in the woods. Which looks like something you've seen in the before part of one of those home makeover shows. The kind with the filthy linoleum that hasn't been changed since the 70s. Watch yourself. Let me clear somewhere to sit. He grabs a handful of hunting rifles off the couch, all right then, carelessly tossing them onto what might be a pile of laundry. Supper's almost ready. You haven't lived until you've eaten Hunt's Peak venison. Despite the grime, you have to admit the food smells amazing, especially since your last proper meal was sometime yesterday. So, if all your mom told you is how rotten Hunt's Peak is, what made you decide to come here anyway? I want to learn about my family. Have had some weird dreams about this place. I'm not really sure why I'm here. It just seemed strange, not to know anything. I mean, hasn't our family lived here since the 1800s or something? A lot longer, actually. Forever, you might say. So, I just wanted to see it for myself, You say nothing to him about your recurring dreams, or the strange connection you seem to have to Bastien. Your mom never understood you can't just turn your back on your history. I told her she couldn't keep you away. I knew you'd want to come back when the time was right. He puts plates down on the ancient table, and you sit quietly for a few moments, savouring the first bites. So, tell me about Hunt's Peak, my mother, why everything around here is so strange. Grimacing, Zane takes a swig of beer. I guess it doesn't look like much to a big city girl like you. I mean, I wouldn't... It's okay. It's not the town that matters, you know. It's the mountains, the woods. That's what keeps us here. Though I guess even that wasn't enough for your mom. Why did she leave? Zane doesn't say anything, but you notice he keeps glancing at the window as if this dark swathe of trees behind the curtains has the answers. When your mom met your dad, when she told us she was leaving to marry him, he's lucky he didn't find himself dead on the roadside. Just because they were too young to get married? No, just because... Never mind, you don't want to hear any of this. Was it something to do with, like, marrying an outsider? Did she tell you that? No, she tried to never talk about this place at all. It's ancient history now. The important thing is you're back with your people. He forces a smile. So, what do you want to do tonight? Are you avoiding my questions? Making a suggestion. No, Zane doesn't meet your eyes, so yes, he's avoiding our questions. Tell me, what was so weird about my mom moving away to get married? Who are my people? Zane stands up, walking away from your angry gaze. Not much fun for you, hanging out with an old man all night. Why don't you go back into town, see if you can meet some folks your own age? Bucks would be the best place for that. Got a good business going most nights. Live music and dancing. Zane won't hear any argument against it, so a little while later you find yourself walking into Bucks. Reminds me of Bucks Fizz. It's a dive bar, but at least a lively one. A young woman on a bar stool gives you a friendly once-over. Well, you look like you're new in town. You must be Aspasia. I'm Layla. Does everyone in this town know each other? Your uncle told me you'd be heading down. Asked me to keep an eye out for you. I'm just visiting. Happy to meet you. Same here. We've all been curious about the prodigal daughter. Really? My mother not living next door to her parents still knows a generation later? How small is this town? You've got no idea, hon. She stands up from her seat and you're surprised to see that she's pregnant. Oh, damn. Oh, should you be at the bar right now? Congratulations. Layla rubs her belly proudly. Thanks, just about 6 weeks to go. I feel like a turkey waiting for the timer to pop. You look around awkwardly, not seeing any guys in the bar who look like they're staking a claim to Layla. Is the father... He lives outside of town. Oh, is that hard? We don't see each other every day, but when we do, we make up for it. Layla goes to the dance floor in front of the pool table, throwing her big belly around with ease. But as you join her, the door to the bar suddenly slams open. A man and a woman walk in, dirty clothes, scruffy faces, and an unmistakable air of menace, I love that phrase, about them. They lock their eyes on you. Come, it's time. The ritual is about to start. The what? Who are you? You should have known Hunt's Peak would just keep getting weirder. Layla grips your hand. When you turn to her, she nods reassuringly. No one else in the bar seems to be acting like this is anything unusual. It's okay, just do what they say. Maybe we should start this over. Hi, I'm Aspasia, and you are... You know who we are. No, I really don't. It's okay, they're... Come with us. He grabs your wrist in one hand. His grip is like iron, his nails ragged and oddly long. I should fight back. Go with him. You look at Layla. She doesn't look the least bit intimidated. You're sure it's safe? Of course. There's nothing to be afraid of. Hurry up. This has got to be part of all those cryptic hints Bastien and your uncle were dropping about your people and whatever your mother ran away from. With a deep breath, you nod and follow the man outside, praying that this isn't the time your curiosity gets you killed. Don't worry, it won't be. There's a white van parked outside, the back door's thrown open to reveal a loose boxes and some tools. Every instinct you have cries out against getting in there, but you climb inside, moving boxes out of the way. New trope, girl keeps doing dumb shit and should be murdered, but somehow manages to survive at every turn. Are you at least going to tell me where we're going? No one answers. The door slams and the light cuts off as you're left alone in the back. You hear talking and hold your breath, straining to make out what they're saying. Start the ceremony. Only until the moon sets. There is a screech of tyres, and you sprawl against the back of the van as it picks up speed. Ah! You can feel yourself turn off the road, the van bouncing along on what feels like a dirt trail, gravel spraying loudly against the frame. Where the hell are we? It's only a few minutes later that the van finally rolls to a stop, and the woman opens the rear doors. I should get out cautiously. Charge, Pastor. With some half-formed idea of making an escape, you leap from the van and dash forward before you realise what you're seeing. Oh, that's so pretty. You're in a clearing in the woods, large boulders arranged around it like some sort of poor man's Stonehenge. All around stand people, chanting in strange guttural barks and marked with face and body paint. Arasu! Araha! For a moment you think you see a golden glow in the women's eyes like a wolf's. A fire burns in the clearing, scented with something sweet, incense or drugs. Hard to tell, since the whole thing already feels like a hallucination. Aspasia. Oh look, it's Bastien. Bastien's gravelly voice stops your words in your throat, and you turn to see him, backlit by the fire, dressed now in paints and leather like the rest of them. Okay, this, I like this. This is... Whatever that was, 10 out of 10. Love it. Amazing. Bastien? Fun fact, Aspasia's accent is supposed to be like Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Aspasia's got an ancient Greek name, and Cassandra is from ancient Greece, so I thought she should definitely have her accent. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this, and tune in next time to see what this bonding ritual is. Stay frosty, puppies.